good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for joining us today for our live talk webinar on Medical Biotechnology from the School of Health Sciences, IMU. Welcome. My name is Associate Professor Dr. Lim Chui Ling, and I'm from the School of Health Sciences, Applied Biomedical Science and Biotechnology. And with me today, we have our speakers, TS Dr. Yenny Yap. Please give a wave. Yeah, that's Dr. Yenny. And we also have Dr. Adam Lim. Dr. Adam. Hi, Dr. Adam. And we have Mr. Brian Song. Mr. Brian Song. Yeah. So these are speakers for this evening. We have a lineup of talks for you. So I'm just going to share very briefly the lineup for today. So some housekeeping rules before we start. We have muted the mics for all attendees. So if you'd like to share your thoughts or ask questions, please use a Q&A panel. You should see a Q&A panel at the bottom of the screen. This live webinar will be recorded, yeah? All right. So just to give an overview of the program for tonight, we will have the first talk by TS Dr. Yenny. She is the Program Director of the Medical Biotechnology Program in IMU. And this will be followed by our two alumni. Firstly, we'll have Dr. Adam Lim and followed by Mr. Brian Song. So they'll each give their perspective on the journeys from classroom to their career right now. Okay. So if you have any questions, please use the Q&A box. So we warmly welcome questions, yeah? So I'm going to stop sharing now. Okay, and I'm gonna just, without further ado, introduce our first speaker for today, TS Dr. Yenny. Dr. Yenny is the Program Director for Medical Biotechnology at the School of Health Sciences, IMU. And she is a professional technologist, and that's why she has a TS in front of her name, yeah? Her expertise spans natural product drug discovery, molecular biology, and transcriptomics, with a focus on bioactive compounds, yeah, from medicinal mushrooms. And she contributes to biotechnology and healthcare through research in genome mining, metabolic engineering, and cancer studies. If some of those words feel unfamiliar to you, feel free to ask her what those mean. Yeah, it's quite technical. But let's put a hand together for TS Dr. Yenny. The floor is yours.
Okay. So today I'm going to talk about the internship opportunities, the career prospect, as well as our alumni whereabouts, okay, in this program. So in our very first webinar, basically, I have roughly introduced to everyone on the program structure. Okay, so basically in medical biotechnology, our program covers a wide range of topics which is required in the biotechnology field, including the basic sciences subjects like mathematics, medical microbiology, parasitology, pharmacology, molecular biology, and also pathology. And also we also put a very strong emphasis, okay, on practicals and also applied skills in some key modules like what you see here in the purple box, like instrumentation and biosafety quality management, cell culture, fundamental of bioinformatics, forensic science, management experimental on animals, omics, bioprocess technology, applied biotechnics, data analytics, and of course, the very important components is the research projects. And we also not forgetting to actually develop the communication skill and scholarly skills of graduates. And therefore, we have modules like science communication, ethics biotechnology, where students are required to do a debate, and also have current trend in medical biotechnology as well as research methodology. And okay, the most important part, okay, basically will be our the internship, okay, which comprises of 24 weeks, which is our full long semester. So why is internship important? Because it actually helps to provide the real world hands-on experience, which is relevant to the industries that they are intern to, okay, as well as, of course, as to further enhance their technical communication skills. And also internship will actually provide better networking and industry exposure. So last but not least, internship will help students to actually give them the first-hand exploration, okay, on their future career path, right? So in IMU, basically we support, okay, a student's internship by actually having established a graduate trainee program, okay, for medical biotechnology. Actually, this established in since 2023, and through this GTP program, basically we have our industry key players where you've seen here, okay, there's an extensive list of them, which offer a very meaningful and very properly structured internship placements, of course, as well as first job opportunities for our graduates, okay, upon their graduation. So if you look at here, as of April 2025, we have a total of 15 GTPs, where I have actually categorized them according to the respective sector, okay, like Biomed Global, Neuroscience, Appendorf, Everlife, Chemopharm, IDS Med. These are actually medical diagnostics, lab equipment and reagent suppliers. Then we have Zephyr SP, Soul Bio, which falls under the pharmaceutical manufacturing and compliance industries. Then we have Synapse, MGRC, OnCode, okay. These are companies which actually provide services in terms of genomics, bioinformatics, and also precision medicine. Then we also have Cell Agritech, Greencom, Nanotech, Good Morning Global. Okay, so these companies, they actually are promoting agricultural food sustainability, biotechnology field. Then last but not least, we also have Cryocord and CSI Medical Research, which actually play a very important role in terms of stem cell development, clinical research, and regenerative biotech. So up to date, in total, okay, these 15 companies, our GDP partners, basically they offer us up to 32 placements of first job opportunities, okay, to our graduates. And of course, I would also like to share with you all some of our GTP success stories. Okay, for example, Aaron and Esther, which is our cohort from MB121. Okay, they are actually the first cohort to actually get to experience this GTP program, and they actually intern in Cell Agritech, and now they are both a staff, okay, in Cell Agritech, okay, through the GTP partnerships. Then at the moment, we also have a Charlene and Wei, okay. This is Charlene, and the only boy here, okay, he is Wei. So they are both from MB122, which means they got admitted to our program in year 2022. So currently they've actually interned respective companies, Cell Agritech and OnCode, and they will actually soon to join the respective companies as their full-time employees soon, right? Probably in July, right? So of course, for those students who are actually seeking for international exposure, right? So the programs also support the training abroad, okay, of course. So if you look at here, since few years back, okay, we have students actually successfully completed their research internships in like stem cell and regenerative consultant in Hong Kong, Academia Sinica in Taiwan, A-Star in Singapore, as well as and US, and also one in New Zealand, okay, University of Auckland, okay, which is one of our alumni, Daniel. Okay, Daniel Shuba, really. So basically, this placement, okay, for global internship will offer them various experience when it comes to research, of course, and also the cross-cultural development. Okay, right. So this is a map, okay, which I've summarized, okay, that shows the diverse international destination where our students have actually interned outside from Malaysia. So those in the black pins actually are the more commonly countries where our students actually intern to. That will include Singapore, Australia, as well as Taiwan, and other countries. Okay, we have like New Zealand, we have Hong Kong, we have Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, Germany, and Italy. So every year, basically, we have about like 30% of the cohort which actually able to intern to overseas, right? So I would also like to inform that most of these internship placements, basically, they are more to research institutions as well as universities, except for a small number of placements, which like places in India and Indonesia, they are more to biotech industry settings. But basically, this is possible as our students are also the nationals of that countries, which actually is the work of the work visa requirements, right? And because regardless of whatever locations that graduates are interested to go or to intern to, okay, the program is definitely committed in supporting our students in seeking the placement there, right? So like guidance on CV writing, cover letter, application emails, all this will be provided. Okay, the guidance will be provided, and of course, all the required administrative support will also be given, okay, to the students. And in addition to that, IMU has also allocated a specific funding to support our students who outbound, okay, to overseas, in which we call it as an outbound mobility fund. Okay, all in all is to actually encourage the global exposure and also the cross-cultural learning, right? And then after internship, then what is next? Okay, of course, this is about the job, right? So here is actually a glance of the MB's medical biotechnology school scope. So I think I actually presented this in our very first webinar, but I would also like to emphasize again today that our graduates, okay, most of them can actually have work in startups in healthcare innovation, research institutions or university, government health agencies, pharmaceutical and biotech companies, hospitals or clinical labs as a clinical research associate, for example, and also some medical device companies. So what are the specific job that they will be doing or they will be possibly be doing? Students, okay, and do research in the universities or research institutes, right? Control assurance officer to make sure the products are safe and meeting standards, regulatory affairs to make sure the products are being approved, okay, make sure the companies are actually comply, right? Then we also have the research industries positions like biopharmaceutical scientists, researcher, molecular biologists, geneticists, okay, bioinformatics, data analysts, okay, so all in all, they will study the gene cells, data development, okay, in the labs or even in working with the computers, right? Then we have a biotech product specialist or manager and a clinical research associate or even as a medical science liaison. Those personnel who actually share the info with doctors and get the feedback, okay, for the companies. So actually, this is the job search that I did in April 2025 because what I understand is the global biotech market is actually now uprising, which is expected to reach like about USD of 2 trillion by 2030. Okay, so I believe there is a lot of high demand, okay, for of the jobs in both locally and also internationally. So there's because what I'm worried is that there's actually a common perception that students would think that there is a limited job prospect. But if you look at what I found here, okay, the trend actually says otherwise, right? So a simple research actually shows that we have this number of jobs available for the biotech graduate because the job search keywords that I use is actually the search keywords that I use is actually biotechnology. Okay, of course, I have filtered out those redundant jobs because I searched from various job application portal, right? And the salary range from what I studied here is actually from 1,006 to 6,005, depending on the job title and also their experience. So of course, as an internship, okay, some companies actually also provide such an offer, okay, the salary range from 500 to 1,000. Okay. Of course, I do understand towards the end, the options is actually limited due to other reasons like personal preference, the further study background, or even a different career choice of interest, right? But this is what is in the trend right now. Okay, right. So my next slide, okay. So this is actually the current employment overview, okay, of our MBA graduates, okay, as of 2024. So if please allow me to walk you through, right? So the pie chart here will show that almost 40% of 46% of our MBA graduates actually venture into sales, marketing, and business development, with 16% actually go for further studies, another 16% to other roles, which is quite right from education, services, administration, 15% to research and development, 4% entrepreneurship and also startups company, and 3% to as regulatory affairs and compliance, mainly working as like the QA or QC officers, right? So these are the job title that are which they are currently holding. Okay, so 4% actually are actually becoming a job creator. Okay, so they are like founders, okay, the head of new ventures, or they are self-employed, having their own startups, right? So clinical and medical affairs wise, we have alumni actually working as a CRA, clinical research associate, medical technologist, medical product specialist, medical application specialist, sales, marketing, and business. Okay, we have those who actually currently working as a sales asset manager, product specialist, BD asset, and also marketing executive. Other roles would include project manager, or even radiographer, junior embryologist, fitness coach. Okay. Meanwhile, to the R&D and scientific roles, we have students, the alumni who are currently working as a RA, officer, research fellow, or as a scientist or lab technologist for an R&D department in a certain company, or their further studies, okay, as to to masters, postdoc, PhD, or to the next faculty, I believe, right? Then, as I mentioned, regulatory and QA and compliance, most of them, they are working as QA QC officers, okay, pharmacovigilance analysts as well. And then education and writing and consulting wise, okay, these are the categories like lecturers, teacher, science writer, content creator, consultant, or patent associate. And their employers actually spans from like Harvard University, GSK, Medtronic, all these are the companies which are more well known, which are highlighted here, okay, to show that our graduates are actually recognized, okay, and their skills are actually well trained, right? So last but not least, okay, I'm also proud to share that our MBA graduates, okay, or our program has actually been awarded, okay, as a very prestigious 6 stars rating in the Talent Bank Employees Choice of University Awards 2025. Okay, so this recognition is actually based on the direct input, okay, from those top employers across various industries, okay, where they identified our graduates as among the most employable, they are industry ready and well prepared, okay, for the workforce, right? So again, this is a testament of the quality of our program. Because the contributing factors would definitely be our academic staff, the strength, okay, with our industry collaborators, and the hard work. Okay, most importantly is the hard work of our students. So I would like to end my presentation with these 5 unique selling points of our programs, in which our programs actually provides a small groups hands-on practical training, in which due to the requirement by NBOT, we will only place 4 students in a group. We also have a real-world lab techniques that will be delivered to the students, like PCR, livestock, cell cultures. Okay, so basically, just to share a little bit, okay, there are few companies which of course they are also our industry partners, if they actually share with us that getting know the PCR techniques is actually one of the main requirements during the job interview. So this is actually important. Okay, so we actually towards the end we are trying to build an industry-ready skill set to our students, including the scientific writing and communication based on those modules that I have presented earlier. Okay, and also of course also some regulatory knowledge like good manufacturing practice, good lab practices, FDA, MDA, all these are actually part under one module called instrumentation, right? Then we also have a data analysis involving Python R, bioinformatics, the field bioinformatics related model. Then also innovation and problem solving mindset. That is actually some skills that we will assess, okay, in our students. Then of course, another one very important or unique selling points, okay, of this program will definitely be our GTP. Okay, and of course, we are also IMU is also one of the employer preferred university. And most importantly, okay, our program is actually recognized and accredited by NQA and board. Okay, so I have actually shared about this in earlier webinar, so I will not go through into details anymore. Okay, so our current university partners is actually the University of Newcastle, Australia, as well as University of Strathclyde, Glasgow. But a very, very recent addition just today. Okay, we also have our new university partner, which is University of Dundee, which offered two types of pathway. One is like 1 year in the MU, 2 years in Dundee to earn their degree. And another one is a 3+1, in which is a progression pathway to a master's degree. Okay, right. So I believe that's all from me. Thank you so much. And if you are keen to know more about program, please follow our Instagram, okay, by just googling annual Medical Biotechnology Instagram, or just to scan this QR code, right? So that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yenny, for sharing. I think Dr. Yenny gave a very good interview, a very good overview, my apologies, of not only the program, the curriculum structure, but with a good focus on the career opportunities, the internships, and one very important term that I would like all of you to go home with, which is a Graduate Trainee Programme. I think this is something quite unique to our university, but especially our health science programs. We are extremely active in providing these early career opportunities for our students. So even before they go, before they graduate, when they apply for internship, we already have this track for them, to develop their skills in companies, these GTP-linked companies. So if you have any questions about these or more for Dr. Yenny, please hold on to your horses. You can, type in your questions in the Q&A box, and we will answer them at the end of the session. So please be patient, Very quickly, we'll move on to our next speaker, Dr. Lim, Dr. Adam Lim. We'll call him Dr. Adam. He is our lecturer. He's currently a lecturer of the Medical Biotechnology Programme. Well, he was an IMU Medical Biotechnology student from the 2009 cohort. Now, I'm saying stating the year, so you probably guess his age, but he's still very young. Not to worry. So he specializes in bioinformatics, and he's earned his PhD from University Malaya. And he joined IMU in 2023, just 2 years ago. And he teaches currently structural biology, bioinformatics, data analysis. And his research focuses on infectious disease, natural compounds, and also vaccine design. And he uses structural bioinformatics to study viral protein interactions and to identify drug targets and even optimize these vaccines. He's exploring machine learning to analyze biological data to predict treatment outcomes and early disease detection. So you can see how Dr. Adam has this whole research planned out, and using all these medical biotechnology tools. So Dr. Adam, feel free to share your screen, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Lim, for the introduction. All right, so allow me to share my screen right now. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you all can see my screen.
Yes, I can see the screen.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Lim, or better known as Adam. All right, so yes, I'm actually alumnus for this program from the 2009 cohort. So I'm pretty sure you can do the calculation right now, what exactly is my age. So I think in the next 20 minutes, I will make it more like a storytelling, okay, just to share with you what does it like to actually join IMU in the first place? And after graduating from this program, what did I do actually? Okay, so yes, so it's basically just my path from in the classroom and then what happened to me right now. Okay, all right, so quick introductions again. Again, myself, I'm Dr. Lim, and so I'm right now a lecturer in School of Health Sciences under the division of Biomedical Science and Biotechnology. And I actually just graduated from last year, okay, for the major in bioinformatics, or to be more specific, structural bioinformatics. Okay, so in case you're wondering what are these bioinformatics about, I can share with you a little bit later on. Okay. Okay, so before I go further about what does a lecturer do, okay, so let's just do a flashback for myself. Okay, we rewind the tape back to the year of 2009. That's the time when I actually first stepped into IMU as a student. So a lot of students, or maybe my friends actually, they will actually ask, why did you choose biotechnology? Okay, I have even some relatives actually ask me, why do you choose biotech? Okay, because they have the impression usually is that biotech graduates will end up jobless, okay, like what mentioned by Dr. Yenny just now, or maybe you end up as a biotech salesperson, things like that. So I will say myself at that time in the year of 2009, I wasn't thinking much. Okay. I wasn't thinking about any of the risks and everything. Okay. For me at that time, at the age of 19, okay, so I'm basically just not sure about my career goals yet. Okay. I'm definitely heard about biotechnology. What does it do? But I think my mind at that time was more about passing the exams because you finish your SPMs, you finish your UEC exams. So you just think about just go ahead for a degree. But I do know one thing is that inside myself, I've always have a curiosity, a bit of curiosity about diseases going on around the world. Okay, it may not be a pandemic, but when you find something that is still remain in a mysterious state and there's no any cures, that's what I was thinking. If I had a chance to actually be part of a study, of a research, they can actually help to actually find out is there any cure, any treatments for these medical mysteries? Why not? Okay, and of course, I myself am a big fan of technology, but obviously we do not have 4G, 5G things back in early 2000s. But of course, with whatever technologies we have, so I thought these things all combined, I do think medical biotech is like a perfect fit. Okay, because when I look through their structures of the program, I feel like I will be able to actually accomplish this. Okay, I mean, based on whatever that I need. Okay, so speaking of the program structures, if any one of you have visited our IMU Medical Biotech website, you will definitely see this list of modules, the structures. Okay, these are just about 2/3 of the subjects. As you can see, it's not just your very general chemistry or biology subjects, but it's actually something more deeper. Like it can be pharmacology, microbiologies, and even right now we have sustainability development module as well. Okay, but during my time, I would say we don't have that much. Okay, we only have like things like a biodiversity, instrumentation, bioinformatics, but definitely will actually answer my curiosity as well. So it actually, if you compare 2010s until right now, things have changed a lot. Okay, so you can see that this program is actually trying to always align with the current trends, whatever that's going on right now in the biotech world. So whoever is going to set up with medical biotech, yeah, we're definitely in the right place because we are always going together with the current trends out there, right? So just to let you know that in medical biotech, of course, yeah, there are so many modules to cover here. But then just remember this, we are not just sitting in the classroom, listening to the lectures, talking about the principles, sharing some case studies, things like that. We also step out of the classroom to go to research labs or maybe some practical sessions. Like I just going to share some of the memorable sessions. Like for example, you have the chance to work in the biosafety cabinet. Okay, if you like to work with culturing works, want to culture some animal cells, plant tissues, you learn how to isolate them, subculture them, and then let them grow in a suitable conditions and learn how to support the survivals. You work in basically a setting that actually looks like in a proper research environment. So you definitely gain a lot of experience on that one. So that's just one example. You also have things like bioprocess technology. Okay, if you like to work with topics like fermentation, okay, utilizing microbes, try to get them to convert some useful raw materials or substrates, and you turn them into something more useful. It could be some food products. It could be some pharmaceutical things. Okay, you learn all the techniques by understanding how does a bioreactor works and how do you use the proper conditions to get the most efficient products up there. Okay, so these are just some examples of practical skills that you can learn in the lab setting. Okay, so we have wet lab, we do have dry lab as well. When I say dry lab, I mean like we do not actually just go to a chemistry lab, you add the chemicals and boom, you get the product. Of course, you do work you go to in a computer lab, you have your separate practical sessions lab as well. Like for example, in bioinformatics, in structural biology, okay, you learn about the meaning of a sequence, databases. And if you are into drug design, you want to know, today I have designed drug A, how does it actually bind to a protein B, for example? You want to see how they interact, are they stable or unstable? Okay, you get to see things that you can't actually observe them when you are performing a very generic biology experiment. Okay, you can see things in 3D when you learn about all these bioinformatics and structural biology. Okay, so it's a combination of dry lab and wet lab. Okay, you get to learn all these things in biotech. Okay, and of course, in third year, or I would say the final year in medical biotech, you'll be assigned or you get to choose a research project. Okay, but let me tell you, it's more than just a research work or submitting thesis. Okay, so throughout this duration, when you are performing your research project, you get to train yourself with more things. Okay, remember, it's not just about submitting thesis, get a certificate. You train yourself to think critically. Okay, how do you analyze the results? Does it make sense? How do you justify them, right? And you learn how to communicate your findings to your peers, to even to laymen as well, how to present them effectively. And most importantly, you do things independently. Okay, of course, with some minimal guidance, okay, and you actually learn to tackle the project or the problems by yourself. And most importantly, information literacy skills. You learn how to find out literatures that can actually support your work and do discussions on whatever findings that you are going to share in your projects. Okay, so you have your own project to work on actually. And most importantly, about internships. Okay, you want to know once you graduate, how does it feel like working in industry? Okay, so I had a chance to work in this company, which is of course, is still there in Kota Kemuning. Okay, it's called Granular. Okay, so what we actually did that is actually to understand how do they actually manufacture bone graft to actually improve the life of any individuals with bone defects issues. Okay, so you learn more about the experience, the entire manufacturing process, how do they optimize them. And I will say one thing that what I found out is that this is the time where you can actually get closer to the company, understand them better, and perhaps it's actually a shortcut for you to actually secure your future job opportunities. Okay, so yeah, if you get the chance to do internship as a biotech student, do appreciate the experience over there. All right. And one last thing, just before I graduate from IMU. So like I said, you are not just there to attend exams, pass the exam, that's all. Okay, I'm actually privileged to actually have the chance to visit Thailand, Bangkok, where we actually share our final year project, okay, our findings to people from different fields. Okay, so we went there to exchange our ideas, learn from the experts, and most importantly, looking at what the others are doing. Okay, because from there you might want to actually foster more collaborations in future, right? Things like that. So it's because of our exchange of ideas out there and understand how does their culture that actually works. It actually gives me, how do I say? It actually gives me an open eye experience because I found out that outside Malaysia, there's actually still more going on. Okay, I was in Thailand. Even secondary school students, they have done a lot of things, I would say way more advanced than us, especially in the field of computational biology and some bioinformatics as well. And because of that, just shortly after I graduated from IMU in 2012, after 3 years, I didn't wait for too long. Okay, I just know that while my passion in research is still there, while I still remember whatever that I've learned from IMU, I just keep on going actually. So which means after graduate from IMU, I actually proceed with my postgrad degree. Okay, I proceed with my master's and with my PhD, doing a full-time research. Okay, so then again, more questions come in. Okay, why don't you go to industry and work and earn some money? That's the most, that I would say, the most frequently asked question at that time. Okay, why are you still want to stay in your institution to do all these postgrad works? Well, for me, like I said earlier, while the passion is still burning out there, so why not apply it, continue them, while you still remember all the skill sets that you have learned. Okay, and it's the same. It's the opportunity where you actually deepen your understanding, all the theories that you have learned, and of course, expand your capabilities in research. And most importantly, I know that I want to find a niche area which I'm actually interested in. Because you can see from biotech, it's actually quite a wide field. Okay, you have so many different subjects out there. But when you get to do your own research in this postgrad career, you actually get to actually just work on an area of your interest actually. Okay, and that also helped me to prepare my career in academia also. Okay, I'll share more about my roles in academia world after this. Okay, so yes, let's talk about my master's and PhD. Okay, I won't go too deep, don't worry about that. So basically, I did my master's in UPM in a field similar to bioinformatics. We call it computational chemistry. Okay, in which you work with you learn about codings, simulations, and then some quantum mechanics kind of thing. Okay, still related to living systems, but you do it in a computational way. Okay, so it's a small group in UPM. Okay, it's a small group in UPM for this group, but even as small, I would say we actually get to learn a lot from each other, and whether it's strength or weakness, we just help each other very well actually. So what kind of research do I do? Okay, I would say it's a very fundamental one. Okay, again, from a dry lab perspective, okay, we perform simulations to see how an enzyme, something I call it as a lipase, okay, how the enzyme actually functions when we sort of tweak the environment conditions. Like we know that L1 lipase, they function very well in high temperature. But if I tweak the pressures, does it change the stability? Does it change the behavior? So I'm basically just trying to apply what I've learned previously, okay, technique-wise in my research here actually. Okay, things learned from IMU, apply it more over here. Okay, but again, when you do postgrad, doesn't mean that you are going to stay in the lab doing the research 24/7. That's not the thing I have went through when I was in my master's. You definitely have the chance to go out of your research lab and then present your findings in various conferences, whether it's local or internet or international. You have the chance to do that. Okay, and of course, this is something extra that I get to learn as well. Okay, I'm sure you know that there are various research groups or centers in the institution. So I got a chance to be an editor in which we compile all the research highlights from different groups, the achievements, research grants, publications, just to compile all this information. So compiling is one thing, but I think throughout the process, you get to understand what's going on out there in the world as well, right? So yes, I got to learn a lot actually in my master's. It's not just about graduating from UPM also. Okay, so yes, it took me about 3 to 4 years, or almost 5 years to actually finish masters. Slow and steady, all right, slow and steady. And after that, I proceed with my PhD. Okay, so PhD, I would say the journey is quite similar. Again, it's about research, conferences, and then taking part in some competitions out there. Okay, so what field am I in? Again, still similar in life sciences, more on structural bioinformatics, which means something on molecular docking or maybe protein modeling and some simulations. Okay, so I had a chance to work in this computer lab and in a workstation in which we run all the simulations based on what we need for our research. Okay, so this kind of research I would say is definitely more interesting. Like I said, I like to work on disease kind of things. So we actually use some natural resources using the compounds extracted from a lingjun mushroom. I'm sure you have heard about lingjun before. We will try to see if any of these compounds from the extract are they able to actually stop the function or activities of the viral proteins. Okay, and again from a computational insights. Yeah. So that's my research actually. Okay, and again, conferences. You do oral presentation, poster presentation in various places. And of course, something that I did not expect myself would do actually in a competition. Maybe some of you have heard about 3-minute thesis before. Okay, you have done your research for 4 or 5 years and you have prepared a very thick thesis that actually reports your findings. But in this competition, you have to squeeze all your contents in just 3 minutes and you use one single slide to present to a layman audience without using any scientific terms actually. So yes, I actually learned a lot from this competition here. Like how do you use the right word to communicate with people out there, but without losing essence of our research actually. So as you can see, it's more than just research in PhD. You definitely learn something that you did not expect to learn in the first place. Okay, so though I would just say that you don't have to stress out yourself about completing the studies. One step at a time, you will find a lot of surprises throughout the journey. Okay. And yes, last year finally graduate successfully. Okay, from UM. Okay, so just before I proceed with my last part of my presentation, just to share with you, life in postgraduate is not just about finishing exams, running thesis, or doing your lab work. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, when you go through the process, you learn about yourself better, you adapt to the environment. As you can see, I go to different places, IMU to UPM. Sometimes the journey will surprise yourself. Okay, you do not just grow academically, you actually develop yourself in a professional angle as well, because you get many chances to present in conferences. You communicate with different people from different fields, and of course, you have your own personal growth, confidence, something that is, I would say, I'm pretty lacked in my early days. Okay, and of course, you learn yourself better. You know what are your strengths, you know what are your limits. From those limits, you actually from those limits, you actually learn to actually improve yourself better. And most importantly, I mentioned it many times, lots of unexpected things. Okay, you learn from peers from different disciplines. You get inspiring words from your mentors. Okay, so I would say don't be afraid about postgraduate, because in the process you will learn many things. Okay, finally, just to show you what I'm doing right now as an academician, lecturer, or researcher in IMU. So again, I'm a lecturer in IMU University. Okay, I joined in October 2023. I would say close to 2 years, right? Close to 2 years. And I'm in this division of Applied Biomedical Science and Biotechnology, School of Health Sciences. So it's like back to my home again after 14 years, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, so what are the subjects I thought in IMU? Again, definitely has something to do with my research and the skill that I've learned in the past few years, which include bioinformatics, okay, structural biology, algorithms, okay, talk about C programmings, all the databases, HTMLs, and some data analytics. I'm pretty sure that you have heard about machine learning, some AIs, some LLMs, all the ChatGPT things. Yeah, I do cover all these topics in my lectures. Okay. So yeah, I'm sure some will ask, okay, why are you in academic field again? Okay, why don't you go out to the industry and do something else? So for me, the first thing that is definitely always inside my heart is that I came from IMU, and now that I have the opportunity to come back and give back, why not? Okay, IMU is my alma mater, and I get a chance to contribute to contribute to the next gen. Why not? I think so far, 1.5 years in IMU, I definitely felt great. Okay, I'm still learning, but I definitely felt great in this environment actually. Okay, and of course, most importantly, I still get to do the research that I want. Okay, still on infectious disease, or more particular on vaccine design. Okay, drugs in a bioinformatics way, and of course, these days I try to do hybrid as well. We want to see if we can extract any of the important I would say ingredients from the natural sources, see if any of them actually carry antiviral potentials. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically my kind of research interest right now. If anyone out there want to have some collaborations, yes, please let me know. All right. Other than that, networking. Okay, I will say this. As a lecturer here, you don't just teach, you don't just do research. Once in a while, you have the chance to do networking with people from various fields. Definitely out of school of health sciences, it can be anyone from the pharmacies, from the vet science, from dentistries. You get to communicate with them, see what they are doing right now. Okay, and this is the picture was actually taken last year, if I remember correctly. You get to talk to people alumni from different fields, see what they are doing, and it opens up about more collaborations with them if there are any chances also. So as you can see, it's pretty diverse. Life as a lecturer actually. Okay. Other tasks, of course, mentoring, supervising students in whether it's as to guide students throughout their journey in IMU or maybe in supervising research. You also have to prepare for research grants, learn how to create an impactful research grant to secure good grants and to write effective research articles as well to be published in journals. These are the things that we are consistently doing and improving ourselves also. Okay. So I've mentioned so many great things. So are there any challenges as an academician? Of course, yes. Okay. Even right now, I'm still working hard to balance my workload and time in teaching, in research, and of course in administrative work as well. Okay. You learn how to manage the class, manage the modules, subjects, grade assignments, prepare the lessons. Okay. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, you have to learn how to write grants and learn how to share your ideas and opinions in meetings, and of course, supervise students at the same time. Okay, it is challenging, but I find it to be very great especially when you learn something from all the discussions. Okay, and of course, understand better the role of an educator. Remember, you do not just state in your own style when you teach. You always have to learn to observe who are your audience, and sometimes you change according to them because you have to respond to their needs. Okay, you are there to mentor them, not just to instruct them actually. Okay, and this for me is the most important, something that I think I would say I'm still learning right now, to create your own identity as in this profession as a lecturer. Okay, which means, why do I say this? Because if people mention Dr. Adam Lim, they will know what this person is doing. This is something that I'm still working on. Slow. The progress is slow, but it's definitely work in progress. So, like I said there, things of quality have no fear of time. So as long as I know that there's a progress, I will just keep on working on that one. Okay. So I guess that's all for now. I will just conclude my presentation with a very simple quote here. I will say, no matter what you are doing, as long as you know your passion is there and you are growing, so don't regret whatever you are doing. Okay, so I hope you find your passion as well. Okay, so I guess that's all for now. If there's any question, you let me know. I'll answer later. Okay, thank you. I'll pass it back to Dr. Trilling. Okay, thanks you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adam, for your sharing. I think you reflected very well how a lecturer's life could be. Well, it has its tasks, it has its responsibilities, but it has so many rewarding, benefits and things that keep you going because you're passionate in it, right? Especially in your research and your teaching.
Sure. Yeah.
So of course, we warmly welcome you into the lecturer team in IMU. And now you are teaching, you're grooming future generations of medical biotechnologists. So how proud is that? Okay, so I see two very interesting questions already in the Q&A box. We'll KIV this to the end. Yeah, we have a Q&A session at the end. But right now, we're going to move very quickly. We're going to switch gears from an academia. We're going to move to industry. So we have another alumnus with us, yeah, a graduate from the MB118 cohort. So MB118 will be a 2018 cohort, Mr. Brian Song. So Mr. Song he has an interest in bio-business and entrepreneurship. Yeah, so basically business. He's continued to pursue his master's degree in bioscience entrepreneurship at University College London, UCL, and graduated in 2022. He's currently working as a life sciences specialist in technical sales at DKSH Malaysia. So if you'd like to hear his story, yeah, please stay tuned. Over to you, Brian.
Hello, everyone. I would say good evening to everyone. Let me just share my screen so that I can get right into the talk. Okay, can you see my screen so far? Everything's good?
Yeah, I can see your screen now.
All right,
Go ahead,
perfect.
Brian.
All right, cool. All right, hi guys. My name is Brian Song. I'm from MB118, which is basically I'm a 2018 graduate, 2018 cohort. Well, not 2018 graduate. I graduated in 2021, but I came in 2018. Yeah, the intake 2018. Mixing the academic terms up a little bit. But yeah, I'm a 2018 intake. So just a little bit introduction to myself. I joined Medical Biotechnology back in 2018. Currently, as Dr. Ling has mentioned already, I am a specialist in technical sales within the life science division of DKSH Technology. A little bit on my company, DKSH. I'm pretty sure you may have seen a lot of our logos before. It is basically, later on it will pop up in one of my slides, but it's basically, if you've seen it around, we handle a bunch of areas in the market, and it's a market expanding company. So you'll see why I joined DKSH in a moment, and as what Dr. Choi has said, why I'm so interested in business as a general term for life science or within our industry as medical biotechnologists. And yes, this is how I look back then in 2018, and the other one is I rock climb. Yeah, it's just some pictures. Okay, cool. So a bit of background on my undergraduate degree during this time is during 2018 when I joined, why I joined, So when I joined, there was kind of like a big boom around Malaysia about how research is so in right now. Medical biotechnology is so in. There's so much about CRISPR technology at the time, gene editing at the time. I even heard a pitch to me once where one of the academic pitch to me was that, imagine if you could engineer your child's eyes to be blue, and of course I can't, my children will never have blue eyes, so imagine having that. So I guess from that point onwards, I kind of thought like, wow, that's pretty cool. Let me read about it and research on it. So yeah, it was also another reason why I joined was also, it was not only just flexible about gene editing, there's also many branches that you could go into. What Dr. Adams said, you could go into so many things, like for example, virology, microbiology, you can go into stem cells, you can go into so many more. And it's just a little bit on what they're saying. And of course, me being me, I thought if I continued going on with this degree, maybe I'll do my master's like Dr. Adam, and I go on to do my PhD, and then maybe sooner or later I will be called Professor Song, and that kind of sounded pretty cool. But yeah, these are just some of the reasons why I joined. Of course, I'm open to any questions as to elaborate a little bit more, but these are mainly why. And for my thesis during my undergraduate degree, it was the isolation and characterization of microalgae from the Cuyo River. So the Cuyo River is actually what us IMU people say that it's like the IMU River. It's just right behind our our campus. So it was in essence what it what the project was literally a preliminary project to isolate and characterize the different types of microalgae throughout different points of the Cuyo River. And the Cuyo River is actually a small branch of the what's it called, the Klang River as well. So yeah, it's just like a small branch. So in order for you to track all these small parts, the reason why you do that is to see at which point does the river get polluted, because it's not really clear and sometimes it smells bad. So you need to figure out why. And so it's very preliminary projects. So yeah, that's my thesis. So after my thesis and everything, I basically graduated in 2021 during COVID. We had it at KLCC Convention Center. Pretty cool. You see the background, pretty nice. So my whole cohort is in the middle right there, as you can see in the right picture. And my left is my thesis supervisor, Dr. Tan. And of course, on the most left is my other partner in there for my thesis. So I faced kind of these challenges when I graduated. I realized that research was not really what I signed up for. Not to say that I didn't like research. I love research. I love the process. I love the planning. I love I love how you plan everything. How you're supposed to achieve what you want to achieve. All these things. But it's just the problem is that I cannot sit still, and I love to talk. And also, the lab setting basically wasn't for me. But yet, I still had so many issues and pain points to the laboratory work that, like, for example, I want to improve the workflow of researchers because some processes are quite tedious. So I'm pretty sure there's some machine or some innovation out there that's definitely help researchers take less time. And yeah, basically want to help researchers in their projects. And also a very, very interesting thing was that I remember when I was doing my thesis, I sat down for a very long time to just process some of the samples. And I remember looking at the equipments and imagining, how did that machine that is from the US, that is a brand from that is made in China, but the brand is from US. How did it come from the US, go to China, and or come to Malaysia and end up in the end users, like in the laboratory itself? So I was very interested in this distribution line. So that was like my idea. So I realized that, hey, maybe it's something to go look into, and other than just going into doing research work. So so next, that's why I went for my postgraduate degree. I did my master's. In UCL. I entered in September 2021. It was a master's in bioscience entrepreneurship, basically business for bioscience. So yeah. So why did I go into it? I already mentioned COVID, took a huge hit on my years in IMU. So I felt like I needed more to solidify myself in the industry. So I also took a Thermo Fisher internship. I forgot to mention that. It was part of the integrated internship that IMU provides. So I did just a quick mention about the internship. I was a product specialist, like I was a product specialist intern, and that gave me a good view on what kind of equipments are meant to be in the market and all these things. Yeah. So yeah, I already mentioned those. So why bioscience entrepreneurship? I needed a more concrete foundation in finance because I needed to know the finance lingo. Not to say that the lingo that was provided during my time. At the time, there was a course that was a business for bioscience or something like that. I forgot, but not to say that the lingo was not enough. I was saying that I needed something that's more in depth. So hence why I did my master's in that. So I also wanted to learn globally how all these things work, how research and pharmaceutical firms work. And of course, my main goal going there was actually to connect with many of the experts within the field, because it's a master's. It means that there's everyone from every age group and from every working background that comes to London to do this course. So one of the things that I learned there is, like, for example, business pitching, business planning, finance, and all that. So for the thesis, a very quick rundown of my thesis. What I wrote there was the genetic engineering of algae for biofuel production and the development of advanced synthetic biology tools for creating designer algae. It's a very big mouthful, and I don't want to get take too much of your time, but basically it was kind of a continuation of what I did during my undergraduate in medical as an MB student, a medical biotechnology student. It was basically algae has a capability of being able to produce biofuel, and how we're going to use that biofuel that will change into hydrogen gas, which will be fuel for cars in the future. Yeah. And how you're going to monetize that, basically. Yeah. Okay, so after I graduated, there are a couple of challenges. I'm pretty sure everyone has faced them, and maybe you guys will face them too. But the first thing was finding the first job. So I had two plans. I had two options. One was the opportunity to stay on in the UK with a graduate degree, graduate visa, which gives you 2 years, and you can find what kind of jobs you do. You basically stay on in the UK after graduating and figure out what you want to do. And I also had to figure out, do I want to stay in this field, or do I want to how long do I want to stay in the UK? Because 2 years after not finding a job is quite detrimental to your career in a way. So at least on me, and of course London is very expensive, so the living expenses, and I needed to find a job, and I wanted to be independent. I don't want to keep relying on my parents as being a firstborn child as well. So yeah, but after much debating, I just realized, okay, I'll stay in the UK to give my best shot. Since I'm there, might as well. So there's my lag time in 2023 to 2024. Within those years, I've applied massively to many jobs, 300 jobs, because to be honest, why 300 jobs? I was actually quite uncertain, but I will elaborate later. I was quite uncertain on where or what to apply. I didn't want to do research, or I didn't know what job titles do I want, what job scope I want, you know. But in the meantime, I did travel a lot. I worked part-time. I didn't want to stay stagnant. So I took up a marketing job just to learn something, acquire some experience in marketing, you know. And of course, you have to work part-time in a cafe. So if you ask me to do a latte art for you, I can. Yeah. And this is why I applied to 300 jobs. I was quite uncertain on where to start. I mainly applied in London. So the kind of aspect about just give you a picture, the London job market is mostly pointed towards finance related jobs, so more towards consulting, more towards venture capitals, and all of these are towards it's very scarce, because for life science part of it is very scarce over there, because competition is fierce. So obviously I try my best, there's so many research roles there I've seen, but I, for some reason, am quite stubborn. So I tried going there, and I was quite lost at the time. Friends and peers advised me, and because of their different positions in different industries, I was quite confused myself. Yeah. So some of the companies that I applied to, like PwC, Deloitte, those are consulting firms. Capgemini is a life science consulting firm. There's a base in Singapore as well, if you're wondering. So yeah. So after a while, I realized that, you know what, time to pack up and make sure that I get my first job, because I'm wasting too much time. And I realized that, you know what, let's go back to what I wanted to do in medical biotechnology, because that was my passion. I was just so confused from everyone else, so many things going on. So hence I joined DKSH. Why I joined DKSH, in DKSH itself, because it's a market expander and not a distributor of sorts, it's kind of a distributor, but you get to work with a bunch of brands, number one. So I get to work with many regional brands, like from China. I get to work with brands from Korea, Japan, Singapore brands. So I work with a global presence. So and I get to meet many new customers and creating that genuine relationship and getting to know their pain problems and actually solving their problems by providing the solution that we have. And within DKSH also, you get to learn the distribution on how it is shipped from, like, for example, what I said earlier about the US product being made in China and how is it shipped to Malaysia and all these things, these factors going in as well. Yeah. So, and of course, like Dr. Adam himself, he's attended many conventions and or events. With DKSH, also you will be able to work in those such of events by promoting all these lab solutions as well. So the upcoming one that I'll be going to is Lab Asia, and that will be in next month. So lecturers, if you want to come, sure, you can come and visit as well. Yeah. All in all, basically learning the Malaysian distribution system. Yeah, it's quite interesting in my opinion, how a complicated equipment ends up in the lab. So yeah, I'll move on to the next slide. So yeah, here's my career path so far. If you can't tell, I'm still considered quite young. I went from undergraduate student from 2018 to postgraduate in 2021. I was unemployed for a good year and a half. And then I got my first job. And then that first job, I felt a bit of challenge and I realized it wasn't what I want to do. And hence I joined DKSH after that. And for the future, I know it is scary, but for me, you have to think ahead and really think, you know what, this is what I want to do. So for me, I want to handle more brands under DKSH. This is exactly what I want to do. I want to be more involved in mergers and acquisitions and business development. So in a nutshell, doing research on brands to take into DKSH to enter the market here, in the Malaysian market here. And of course, maybe if possibly move to Singapore, because that's where the DKSH HQ is, decision making is mostly at. So that's why mergers and acquisitions there. It's also because I want to get international work experience. Yeah. Of course, if I go overseas to work also, of course, because being the firstborn child, I don't want to be too far from my parents. So Singapore is just 1 hour away, or maybe even less. So yeah, that's about it. I hope there are questions, or if there's no questions, that'll be fine. I think I'll pass the mic to Dr. Choi Ling.
Thank you so much, Brian, for your sharing. I think you did bring us through a very heartfelt journey. Thank you for your honesty as well. Very candid moments. You share your challenges, also opportunities, and the learning from that, which is really valuable, not just for students who are looking to exploring medical biotechnology, but also current students, and even we have something to learn as well. Yeah, your resilience. So I'm not sure whether you've developed this resilience in IMU, but definitely part of your character there.
I think the resilience part was mostly in IMU as well, because a lot of times you get a lot of ideas bounced to you. And I think IMU is a perfect breeding ground for those kind of ideas that bounce to you. And then, of course, the resilience comes in where you really think what you want to do, all these things. And it's great.
Right. Thank you so much, Brian. Okay, we do have, it's 9:12 now, so we do have a bit of time for Q&A. I see several questions already in the chat box. May I request all speakers to turn on your cameras and be on standby? Thank you. Yeah, okay. So I'll try to answer all these live, and I'll try to group also the questions that are similar together. The first question is by anonymous attendee. This student wants to study this. I'm assuming this means medical biotechnology and work in research, but the parents are strongly against this. So for them, with very good results, so congratulations, better study medicine. So, but the applicant is shy and thinks that medicine is not for him or her. So how can we help? So Dr. Lim, would you like to address this?
Yeah, sure. Yes, thank you for the question. I would say I actually encounter this question a lot, especially when I was at an education fair or open day, because they were parents actually came to us saying that their son, their daughters, they want to do biotech or maybe some programs, but actually based on their results, they actually hope their children will do some medicine, things like that. Yeah, I will just share based on how I actually I won't say convince, but at least let the parents understand what's going on between these programs. So basically, I understand this situation can be actually quite tough because students students with excellent results, they feel the pressure to choose medicine just because there's an impression that there's a great path, okay, something like that. That's what some people will think it that way. But what I will usually tell the parents first is that it's important to have your career that actually fits your interests, your personality, not just your grade. In your question, you mentioned that you are shy and probably I assume that you're not comfortable interacting with parents. So that could be a sign that maybe clinical medicine may not be the best fit for you. That's okay because there are definitely other ways to contribute. So I guess first thing is you have to, just based on my personal advice, is that perhaps can actually make your parents understand. Perhaps you can bring them to education fair or during our upcoming open day this weekend. Okay, so I strongly recommend you guys to come and visit. So that's a great chance for the parents to actually understand, or maybe for yourself to understand if let's say a biotech is really good for you, or maybe medicine is actually good for you. We can actually evaluate based on that one because most of the time we will get real examples of where our graduates go after this program. Okay, whether it's those with scholarships, those working in industries or pursuing PhDs, and most importantly, through our sharing with the parents or with the students, they will see if let's say this program is not just like a second choice field like that. It's actually a respected growing area in your healthcare. So I guess when they understand this better, they will see the clear career pathways about biotech, and they know that you are more committed to do this program. So they will more likely to be supportive. So I would say just show them that it's not just you are not just avoiding them. It's actually about you yourself finding the right way to make an impact. So biotech have its own impact also. So if let's say there's a chance this weekend, yeah, just bring your parents and we can talk further. Yes, yeah, that's my sharing. Hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Dr. Adam. So in short, do come visit us on the open day this Sunday. Yeah, to find out more about both programs and see which one you think is the best fit. Now, next question. I'm not sure if this is a career for me. How can I know? Is it by my character? I'd like to direct this question to Mr. Brian Song.
Okay. So I'm not sure if this career for me. How can I know by my character? So you have to do well. The honest answer is that you have to do your own research, and then you need to figure out yourself about how what is your preferred working ethic. Would you prefer to be working alone? Would you prefer to be working in a lab environment? Do you see yourself doing all this? Ask yourself these important questions before making that decision. You have enough time to make those kind. And of course, with a lot of resources online, you can always search online to get more info as to whether you like the course. And of course, you have so many you have so many lecturers here as subject matter experts here that you can ask this question as well, because based on but if you're asking me based on my experience, I knew that my character was someone that could not be working in a laboratory setting, but still like research work. So I knew that I wanted to be in this field, and I wanted to be out there seeing many customers. And I will say also that some of the customers that I have are also my past lecturers and or also past mentors, mentees. Yeah, in the industry as well. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I think just to add on to that, exploring, finding out about the career opportunities for each program is important. Not just a personality or character search, that's important, knowing what you want. But also, once you register into medical biotechnology, there's the internship, right? The internship actually plays an important role for you to discover what your likes or dislikes and whether that's the right fit for your career. So I think there's a lot of exploration to do, even during the undergraduate program itself. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Moving on very quickly, I'd like Dr. Yenny to answer, firstly, a more direct question. How long is the internship in the program?
Yeah, sure. So the internship is
Oh, sorry, Dr. Yenny.
one whole semester, which is in semester 6.
Okay. So the semester is
still,
about, semester is about 3 months, 4 months in length. About how
4
many
weeks, so
weeks?
it's like 6 months.
About 6
6
months.
months.
So it's
Yes,
one
yes.
semester. It's half a year. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that gives you ample opportunity to explore and also learn. Many times employers actually comment that internship duration is not long enough, it's not substantial enough. I think 6 months is quite a substantial duration where the employer can assess your competencies of an intern, and the interns can decide whether it is the right fit for them as well. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah. These two questions are actually related by Janet and Teo Wen Shen. It's about the differences between medical biotechnology and biomedical science. So perhaps Dr. Yenny, you would like to address these questions?
Yeah, so basically, biotechnology is more like applied science, where students will be exposed to the laboratory techniques, how to solve certain issues, right? So meanwhile, biomedical science is more on like learning the human body systems. I think we actually talked about this also in our previous webinar, right? Like, what is how do we actually draw out the differences? So what I would say is that if you are really you like to solve issues, okay, you want to learn the techniques, then biotechnology is actually one program to go with. And otherwise, if you would want to know the cause of the disease, you want to like more to diagnostic, clinical diagnostics, then that would be more prone to biomedical science, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Yenny. I think to add on to that very quickly, MLS would be a medical laboratory scientist. So for biomedical science graduates, they are more tuned to a career in hospital, diagnostic labs in the hospital. Whereas for medical biotechnologists, as you've seen in Dr. Yenny's presentation just now, it's more to the industry, entrepreneurship, clinical research. So it's not so much a hospital base. So that will be biomedical science. So I think that is very clear. However, if you do choose a research-based career, you will see that it is quite multidisciplinary, and the medical biotechnologists can work with the biomedical scientists, and the areas of research do overlap. Yeah, because it's so multidisciplinary. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Okay. So the next few questions are about job opportunities. Yeah. One is how quickly do graduates get a job after graduation? That's a very important question. Would Dr. Yenny like to answer this?
Yeah, so according to our data, our graduates actually will get a job within the 6 months upon graduation. And at the moment, our employment rate is about 96 to 98%. Okay, so of course, as I mentioned earlier, if let's say graduates our students are prone to take up the GTP program or intern at our GTP partners, basically the chance to secure their first job is actually very high. Okay, where as I shared earlier, like we do have a few students who actually be already offered a job even during the internship. So that would be like almost immediately you get a job. Yeah, even before graduation.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go
Sorry,
ahead,
I would
Brian.
like to
Yes.
add on to Dr. Yanni also. I understand the concern also. For me, when I did my internship during my Thermo Fisher, when I did my internship for my Thermo Fisher job at the time, I did after finishing the internship, my PIC, my supervisor did offer me a position again to continue after I graduated. But of course, as you can see from my presentation, I chose to pursue a master's after that. So yes, don't worry. So far, our graduates do get jobs after that quite fast.
Yeah. And this is based on statistics, the data that we've collected over the years. But also, as I mentioned early on in the live talk and in my introduction, is that GTP. Remember this acronym because it's a very good opportunity for our students, our medical biotechnology students, to get into employment very quickly. So if you're worried about jobs in the medical biotechnology sector, so there are a number of parents or perhaps students yourselves who are worried about not getting jobs. So I think employability is also our primary concern. We not only equip you with the right competencies and skills, we also have something called an industry advisory board where we have appointed CEOs of companies, line managers to advise our students on what the employers are looking for. So on top of the GTP, the program, we also have the IAB, Industry Advisory Board. So the facilitation towards getting a job for the graduates, I think our students feel quite supported in that sense. I think Brian can be testament to that. Yeah. So I think I've answered Ms. Yap Biwa and anonymous attendees questions on what if I can't find a job in Malaysia. So I think the key thing is to look out for what employers are looking for in terms of competencies and skills, what are opportunities out there, understanding the job market, and equipping yourself with the right skills. All right. Just going to go very quickly. So working overseas, I think this is another very important question. A parent wants to know if the son can work or further study overseas. Would probably Dr. Lim would like to answer this?
Okay, yes, thanks for the question. Working overseas, yes, that's for sure. I mean, like, if let's say I'll just go back to our program structures here, I'm sure maybe some of you have seen that there were some partner universities where you can actually do credit transfers over there, and using their certificates, you can definitely work there as well. But I will add this thing first, regarding opportunities, job, whether it's local or overseas. I would say biotech industry, they want to see your skills. So if you have the skills that they require, or even with at least some trainings as well, then definitely the opportunities are there. So I would say regardless of locations, as long as you are well equipped with your skills in all these biotech related entities or processes, I would say the opportunities wise, I would say shouldn't be our concern. It's not just about grades anymore, but you just have to show your skills. And speaking of skills, you learn that a lot throughout your studies in biotech here, and of course in your internships also. So I hope I answered the question a bit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Dr. Adam. I think it's also important to note that we do have graduates who are doing their postgraduate or completed their postgraduate overseas. Yeah, so it's not an issue there. Leading to that, related to the question, Teo Wen-Xuan also asked, with a degree of biomedical science in the UK, then masters in bioinformatics. Do you mean a degree in medical biotechnology in the UK? I suppose it is in context is quite similar, isn't it? Masters in bioinformatics. Do you require masters and PhD to land a secure job in the field? Perhaps Dr. Adam, you would like to address that question as well?
Sure. If I understand the question correctly, you mean like if you proceed with your postgraduate with bioinformatics, will you be able to land a job? I mean, let's say you are in a bioinformatics field kind of job. Yes, definitely no issue. I mean, if you were to proceed, definitely great. But if you stop at a master's with bioinformatics to land a job in that field, yes. Like I said, this field requires the skills there. So if your interest is there, securing a job, no issue, because from what I can observe, based on the bioinformatics company available overseas, they are looking at your experience. It could be your coding experience, your experience in analyzing the genomic profiles or transcriptional profiles. They want to look at experience actually. Yeah, I think that's the most important. Of course, the basic level of based on the academic is definitely a degree. Of course, the higher, the better it is. But again, back to the basics here is about experience and the skills. If you have that, securing a job in that field, definitely no issue. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Adam. So just looking at the other questions, perhaps we can address this question. What other main subjects are required to study aside from biology and chemistry? I'm presuming this is from the pre-university. So subjects aside from biochemistry, what other subjects are needed in the entry requirement? Perhaps Dr. Yenny, you'd like to answer this?
Yeah, either mathematics or physics. So we will need at least 3 science subjects as one of the minimum requirements to enter into the degree of medical biotechnology.
Thank you, Dr. Yenny. Can you major in medicine and minor biotechnology? That's an interesting question. Dr. Yenny? Major in medicine, minor biotechnology. We cannot, right? At the moment, for IMU, and these are two very different programs.
Yeah. 2 different programs.
Yes. So if you study medicine, there will be an MBBS degree, and medical biotechnology is a science degree. It's a 3-year science degree. So at the moment, no, we do not have this combination because they're vastly different. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to go through very quickly. Internship experience. So I think Brian actually shared a lot about his internship experience, Dr. Lim as well. You could see that in Dr. Yenny's presentation, she also shared some snapshots on the internship experiences of other students. Yeah. In the interest of time, could we just say that our students have very fulfilling internships, whether locally or abroad? So we do have students attached overseas as well, right, Dr. Yenny?
Yeah. We also have students actually currently intern in NUS Singapore. Yeah, we do like more research oriented.
Yeah. Right. So as long as they address the learning outcomes, it can be in research, it can be in industry. So it really depends on your interest, and this is where you can specialize and hone in to which career that you're planning to pursue. Okay, I probably take 1 or 2 more questions, and then we will have to wrap up very soon. Okay, will the live recording be sent to us? I believe we will be, our team will be recording this and then editing it and then uploading to YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So hopefully this will be shared publicly. Yeah, not to worry about that. Okay, the question on the literature class. If students in the literature class can study medical biotechnology, So if you're asking about the foundation in arts, then Dr. Yenny, is that possible?
At the moment, we only receive accept FIS students with a science background because that would be much easier for them to cope as well. Yeah, one of the requirements.
Okay,
Science
right. Okay, thank you so much. So thank you very much, speakers. Thank you for your questions as well. Unfortunately, in the interest of time, we aren't able to address all of them. However, we will compile these questions and in our thank you email, yeah, we will address some of these themes and share the answers with you. All right. I'm just going to share my screen again because there's some messages I would like to share. Just give me a moment, yeah? Okay, I hope you see my screen. Okay, right? Is my screen visible? Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed today's live talk. We also had a live talk in May, on the 6th of May, to talk about the differences between biomedical science and medical biotech. On Thursday, if you're interested to find out about another program, which some of you have mentioned today on biomedical science, we are going to have a similar concept, introducing two alumni and their journeys through the program and into their current careers. Okay, so stay tuned. You can sign up for this live talk as well. And on the 12th of July, if you're interested in CSI, interested in forensics, we have our very own forensic pathologist, Dr. Samira, who will be sharing with us the role of biomedical science or biotechnology in forensics. Yeah, so that will be on the 12th of July. So please stay tuned to our social media for updates. Now, I'm also going to very quickly share with you about our upcoming workshops. We have two workshops coming up in August. This is on the 18th of August. This is a paid workshop, but it will be a very interesting one because we have invited speakers from Department of Chemistry, Forensics Unit. We have forensic scientists from Singapore and also a former forensic chemist and a police officer, a very high-ranking police officer. He's now retired, but has a wealth of knowledge on drug labs. So if you're interested in forensic approaches to crime scene and drug lab investigations, you can sign up for this workshop. And the other, career pathway that you could consider is called clinical embryology. So in October, we have a lecture series on advanced clinical embryology. If you're interested to find out more about this, about what IVF is all about and how biomedical scientists and medical biotechnologists can contribute to fertility, helping couples conceive. I think this is the workshop for you. So as we mentioned, this Sunday, we're going to be very busy. We have an open day on the 22nd of June from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in IMU Bukit Jalil main campus. Yeah, so please register and let us know that you're coming. We're going to have campus tours. We will have booths. And some of us will be there as well to give you more information about the program. So if this is not enough, you want to find out more, please come and visit us on Sunday. Yeah, so these are some of the highlights of the open day. There's application registration fee waiver, and there are some talks as well. So I myself will be giving a talk on the student experience leading to career success in medical biotechnology and biomedical science. Yeah, find out more about our scholarships as well. So we're reaching the end of the live talk today. I'm so sorry for taking up more of your time. So I really appreciate if you could scan this QR code and do a quick survey. Just tell us what you feel, what can we improve on in this live talk for future sessions. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to pause on this screen for a little while. Okay. All right. So that's all for the live talk today. I just want to take this opportunity to thank all our speakers, TS Dr. Yenny Yap, Dr. Adam Lim, Mr. Brian Song, Also, TS Dr. Tan Boon Hui, she has been working very hard behind the scenes, also providing us with input and helping us organize this. And on top of that, this would not be successful without our marketing enrollment colleagues, MEO staff, Ms. Suyin and Ms. Maisara, Ms. Chiu Yong. Yeah, thank you for organizing this live talk with us. And last but not least, very importantly, most importantly, thank you for participating today. I think it is very important that we provide the right information about the program, and you've asked all brilliant questions. Yeah, so please keep them coming. Stay curious, and we will do our best to address your questions. All right. Yeah. So I think that is all. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good night.